Simpson at this time with TACS, the Association of Clinical Trial Services. And this is, we're going to be changing it. It is usually the AIDS call-in live, but we're going to be changing it very soon to the Health Equity live call-in show. So if you have a question about anything that has to do with health and equity, I'm going to work with you on that. But that also includes HIV, AIDS complications, hepatitis, and any other infectious diseases that we should talk about. I am your community epidemiologist, Yaa Simpson, and this is what I would like to bring to you as far as the Association of Clinical Trial Services, as we bring science to the people. First of all, I would like to say, if you want to call and talk to me live, I'm just getting here, and I want to make sure that if you have the time and want to call in, it's 312-737, as you can see, 1060. My eyes are kind of blurry on that one, but call me up. And if you have a question about anything that has to do with health, then I want you to just come in, ask your question, and we're going to be dealing with health equity. I know that sounds a little different, but I wanted to define what health equity was for you. And then more importantly, it's not opening. Oh well, I was going to show you a PowerPoint for what health equity was, but it's not opening. So this time, guess what? I want to make sure that I cover my points today. The first point is that we want to say we give condolences to what has happened in Orlando, Florida, to the people at that particular club. We recognize that violence is real. People, we have to deal with these topics, and that's something I'm going to do. One of the researchers that I happen to know about, I'm debating if I should say that person's name, but more importantly, they're looking at violence as a way of saying a disease. So I'm going to go a little bit further. Instead of calling it violence as a dis-ease, I want to call it violence as a virus. A virus gets in. It takes over. It moves through people and makes them react in certain ways. Unfortunately, we're dealing with a virus of hatred. And that's what we saw in Orlando. But let's be clear. That's not the only time this has ever happened in the United States. Tulsa, Oklahoma experienced a mass level of violence perpetrated against Black people. For what reason, we've never found out. There's been perpetration against Native Americans that we now, call Indians, but whatever their tribe was, as Native Americans, they were violated. There has been a lot of violations here against Guatemalans on research that I happen to know about. Of course, we got to say Tuskegee, right? The violence is now so unbearable. It breaks our hearts, but are we doing enough? So call me, because I want to deal with that, because when we talk about health equity, we need to talk about what it is that we need to do to get the best health possible. That man that went in there and did this violent act against those young people, I'm very opinionated about this, so I have to watch my professionalism, but the bottom line is it was something wrong with him, and why he didn't get any health interventions, we don't know. Somebody had to know that he had a mental health problem. You know why we know it's mental? Because no person would be doing that if they weren't in a state of influx in their own spirit. So I didn't get a chance to go into all of the details today, but if you wanted to call into we're going to be changing this Health Equity Call-In Live show. Again, this is with TACS, the Association of Clinical Trial Services. Then we should be discussing things like stigma, hatred, more importantly, xenophobic, meaning that you have a problem with differences. Homophobic, you have a problem with people who happen to want to love other people of the same gender. Why do you have these issues? And if you have them, should it be incumbent upon you to go out and inflict your belief system on them and take their life? You mean you couldn't talk about it? You couldn't deal with it? You shouldn't went to other places? But unfortunately, no matter what I say, that individual who is considered Arab, Muslim is a religion. It's not a race per se. But as a white male, as a white Arab, inflicted this harm among many people because of his, what we're calling homophobic behaviors. It was hatred. And we've seen this enacted against all races of people, especially blacks. You know, we talk about that with TACS, the Association of Clinical Trial Services. As you can see, it's rocking red, black, and green. Red is for the blood, black is for the people, green is for the land, because I'm an African and I shine with the yellow. As you can see, it's all there in our logo. See that logo? I want to thank my teammates for helping us to make sure that TACS is always going to be well represented. We're going to be talking about how we can do better here with the CAN TV and have more dialogue with you all. This timing, unfortunately, may not work for me. But I want you all to continue to watch CAN TV. I want you to continue to support this type of programming, because here we can be honest, open, and very much engaging with the public. That's why it's a live show. And I want you to support that show. So if I had to part anything, it is we need to do better about our feelings. If we're not taking on Ubuntu, which is a South African word that says, I am because you are. And because you are, therefore I am. Until we recognize that we are each other's brothers and sisters keepers, we will continue to inflict the kind of violence that we're seeing. Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all the other issues that have come up in this united, supposedly, these states. No state rights. We definitely don't have any state budgets. That's a bust, right? And in this country that we know is America, we are still being inflicted by hatred because of someone's race, religion, creed, sexuality. Why? It is unnecessary. But as in all things, I have to deal with my spiritual system that says all things come from that which created the sun. And wrapping up, we want you all to recognize that using this platform, I want you to call in, tell other people, even if you don't have CAN TV, you know you can go right on the web, type in CAN TV Live hotline, and then you will be able to see us there. So hopefully we'll be on the schedule for next month, so you can be looking out for health equity. And I'm going to go into what that means and how do we start to change our mindset. We're not saying health disparities no more. We are not being disgusted, dismayed, and for that matter, dismissed. We are going to be equitable. Thank you all so much. I didn't get the chance to spend the time with you that I'd like, but next time, you will be on with TACS. It's going to be the Health Equity Call-In Live Show. Thank you very much, and I'm your favorite community epidemiologist, Sista Yaa.